All right, see you later. What's up guys, welcome to today's YouTube video. Today we are talking about how to track your physique progress, whether it is fat loss or muscle building. If you want to change your physique, if you want to enhance your physique, then you need to know how to track your progress and you need to know how to track it accurately. If you're not tracking your progress accurately, you're basically just kind of guessing, you're throwing shit at the wall and you're just seeing what will stick. So there are 5 accurate ways you can track your progress. The first one is scale weight. Now scale weight gets quite a bad rap in the fitness industry sometimes, and that's because the scale weight fluctuates quite a lot day to day, and that's normal. That is always going to happen, whether your goal is fat loss, so you want the scales to be going down, or muscle gain, you want the scales to be going up. Now, I still use scale weight, and I reckon it's a great track of measurement if you do it properly. The way that myself and all my clients track our scale weight is we weigh ourselves either every day or at least 3 times a week, and then we take the weekly average. Now, we compare the weekly average to the weekly average and so on. That is going to give you the most accurate tracking method of scale weight. It's much better than just say jumping on the scales on Friday and then jumping on the scales the next Friday. Because like I mentioned, on a day-to-day, your weight fluctuates depending on water, sodium, what time you ate the night before, did you go to the toilet before you weighed yourself, did you not, etc, etc. And if you just do it every single day or at least 3 times a week and you take the average, it's going to be so much more accurate, and you'll start to see proper trends rather than just like these random numbers that you're not really sure what's going on. Now we know we've got to take our weekly averages. You also want to make sure you're weighing yourself first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. So basically, get up, go to the toilet, no clothes on, weigh yourself, write it down. The next day, the same. The second measurement is going to be girth measurements. Now, girth measurements is another great way to track your results. I find it is a little bit better to track your results if the goal is fat loss instead of muscle gain, because like I was saying, muscle gain is a slower process. So I personally find, if I measure my arm and then measure my arm a few weeks later, the likelihood of there being any significant change on that measurement is going to be so small. So I don't even bother with girth measurements personally. Some of my clients do it, and like I said, it is great for fat loss, but again, you have to know how to do it properly. So I'm going to show you here on the screen. The way you have to do it is I would pick a few spots on your body that either you can do, or for example, like your partner or friend can do for you, or your coach can do for you, but they have to be in the exact same spot every time, and you have to do them at the same time of day. For example, you don't want to measure your waist, you don't want to measure your stomach first thing in the morning, and then in a month's time, you measure it at night, because there's going to be a difference in terms of, water and food consumption. So it's the same as the scale weight, same as all the measurements of tracking, you have to do it at the same time of day. So with the girth measurements, let's say for example, the stomach, you just measure around the belly button every single time. That way it's going to be the exact same spot. This is a mistake I see people make all the time. For example, the quad. So as you can see on screen here, if I just measure randomly, how am I going to know where the exact same spot is? Because as you can see on your leg, it gets thicker as it gets to the middle. As it goes closer to the knee, it's obviously going to get smaller. So what you do is you measure from your hip bone all the way to your knee bone, and then you cut that in half, and then that's the spot you measure. You do that every single week. Same with your arms, shoulders, etc. Obviously, the easiest ones to do, what I would do if you're doing, Zeus, get out. If you're doing girth measurements, is your belly button, because same spot every time. For chest, you can just go across the nipples, because it's going to be the same every time. And then for your arm and your quad, I would measure shoulder joint to elbow joint. What's up, buddy? Cut it in half, and then same as your leg, hip joint to knee joint, cut it in half. Number 3 is skin fold or body fat calipers. Now these can be a very accurate way to measure your results. I know a bunch of coaches that do this and they do it very well. Personally, I don't do it because all my clients are online, and I don't ask them to do it, because for calipers, you have to have done the course, or you have to at least know exactly what you're doing. It's not as simple as just grabbing the fat, pulling it away and measuring it. There is a specific technique to do it. So if your friend comes over with the calipers and I'm gonna get your body fat measurements, okay? Don't take that result to heart and be like, that's because it's probably not gonna be accurate. It needs to be someone certified. They need to know exactly what they're doing. They need to do it in the same spot every single time, and they need to do it frequently. So I have a couple mates here that are coaches, and they do it, and they do this almost daily. So with their client, they have their clients come in, or at least on a weekly basis, they're doing calipers on different people all the time, and they know exactly how to do it. So The way it's properly done is they'll use like a measurement or a marker, and they'll mark on your skin exactly where they're gonna do it, and they'll do it from there. As you can see, it's already quite complex. So for 99% of you out there, I wouldn't even worry about it. Number 4, this is the best measurement of progress by far, in my opinion, is progress photos. Progress photos do not lie, and they are the best way to see night and day differences. Whether the goal is muscle building or fat loss, these are perfect. This is what I get my clients to do. Now, just like the scale weight, you wanna do these first thing in the morning. You wanna do just like a head to toe photo in half decent lighting, in front of a blank wall if possible. As long as you can clearly see the physique, then that's all you need. What I recommend, how am I out of breath? I need to do some cardio. What I recommend is front, side and back relaxed. And then if you want to do like pose shots as well, you can. It's a good way to see more muscle definition if you're quite lean as well. Number 5, and the last way to measure your physique progress are body fat scans. So the first one we have is DEXA scans. Now DEXA scans is probably the most accurate way to measure your body fat percentage. It's more accurate than calipers and those scales that you stand on, things like that. I don't recommend these though because it's expensive and that's it really. So if you can afford them, and you really want to know what body fat percentage you are, then yeah, do a DEXA scan. The other body fat scanners, like the ones, like the in-body gym ones you stand on at the gym, where I don't reckon these are very accurate, but I mean, if you do them consistently, you could still use it as a measure of progress if you really wanted to. These are kind of similar to the scales. You know, you get the scales that tell you like you know, how much water you have and your body fat. Again, I don't think it's gonna be very accurate, but you can still use it as a measure of progress if you want to. Again, I don't really recommend these. They're not high up on the pecking order. So to recap, we have scale weight, girth measurements, calipers, progress photos, and body fat scanners. Now, what I do and what my clients do, what I recommend most of you guys do, is use scale weight averages and progress photos. Because they're both free, they're both cheap, well, both cheap, they're both free, and they only take 2 minutes, if that. So, and they're very accurate. Like I said, you're gonna do the weekly averages and you're gonna have your progress photos. That is more than enough to see if you're going in the right direction. You don't need to go and see a coach. You don't need to book in DEXA scans. You don't need to get your fat pulled away and tell you how fat you are and then you feel like shit. Yeah, so they're the reasons, guys. I hope this video helped. If you have any other ways that you check your own, you know, physique measurements and stuff like that, let me know. Keep in mind, today we're only talking about like physique measurements in general. This is nothing to do with the gym and the training, tracking, all that stuff is separate, but this will help you reach your goals. This will help you make good decisions with your calories and your targets and what you need to do, etc., etc. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and see you in the next one.